You might recall how rusty the rear bumper was, not to mention the fact that it had been bent in every possible angle. Bear in mind this is an early car, it's got this big rubber insert that goes in the middle. And it was attached by some things that looked a bit like this, but they were all completely rotten, or so rusted that I couldn't get the nuts off them. So copper grease. So I've found a strip of stainless steel from another job which I'd kept lying around, which already had some captive screws already welded to it. So I've cut that up. It used to be one big long strip of stainless steel, and I just trimmed it all up to be roughly the right size as the original ones. And then these new bumpers don't come with the holes in, so I've had to drill the holes. Obviously used some copper grease just to make sure they don't go rusty. And I think what I need to do first is to fit the bumper up to the car, because the bolts go through there, and then when I've done that, then I can put this bit on and get behind it and put the screws in. So I'm just going to check first that all of that actually works and that the screws are all long enough, because some of them are a bit shorter than others, unfortunately. Yeah, I think that'll probably solve that particular problem. Guys, not much to do now. Well, there we go. Got it on now. Actually, it turned out to be a lot easier, apart from rolling around on the floor, which I always hate. So you have these little caps that go on the end. So I found that putting the caps on the end and then making sure that the rubber was in the right location all the way along was the best bet. Otherwise, yeah, because there's quite a lot of adjustment in here, so I just had to move things around a little bit until they fitted. I don't know if you can see behind there, probably not. But so I put nylocks in all the way along there, because some of them needed to be tighter than others, otherwise it sort of goes in and out a bit too much. So yeah, that's kind of it, and that's on. Next job. Well, I've fitted a front wing. This little panel here. I ended up putting some rubber U-channel stuff that I had lying about around that, because otherwise it just looked like it was going to scratch the heck out of all the paintwork. So that's what I've done there. Actually, it fits all right. It probably stop it rattling about as well, so that seems to be good. Door hanging was quite easy because I haven't really done anything apart from putting the window in. It didn't weigh too much, so there's not much. There's not really much to do on that one. You just got to adjust it until it fits the hole. And I've even put the mud flap on, so it starts to look a bit more TCV-ish. Then I'm just about to get stuck into putting these panels on the inside. So you might recall that I didn't go as far as actually painting the insides of these panels. So you know, they are the same colour, unpainted, painted. Yeah, this is the old Z-barsing stuff that they put on it. So yeah, I haven't dismantled any of this. It all works. I'm just going to make sure that we tighten up little things like that to make sure that everything's working smoothly before I put these new panels on, which I managed to get hold of. The other ones, you may recall, were, apart from being filthy, had lots of holes drilled in them for some speakers. And the speakers were not actually mounted in the doors, they were just sort of stuck on by their magnet to the inside of the door here, which is why it's all scratched. Yeah, I haven't really thought about radios and stuff like that, and I probably won't, if I'm honest, because this one's probably going to have to be sold, so somebody else will have the privilege of deciding what they want to do for a stereo. So we're in pretty good shape here. I can't seem to get this crack sorted out in the top of the dashboard. It's in a very difficult place. It's very easy to catch your fingers on here when you're steering, and that's what breaks this. I've done it myself now twice, so that's just the way it is. I think it's just a bit of a difficult one. It's just going to end up having a crack in it permanently. Anyway, So yeah, we're looking pretty good. So get this panel on. Okay, so this was the particularly knackered seat because it was split and filthy and generally fairly horrible. This bit's inside out because as I pulled it off, I just pulled the outside cover part off as one piece. So you know that's how that came apart. So it wasn't difficult to get the cover off. But you know the tips here are to make sure, as I've done here, that you're labelling all of the bits. They may all be the same, I don't know, so I'm just labelling everything where it goes when I take it all apart. Been pretty simple so far to break apart. So there's this bit of foam backrest which has got some holes in it, which might need to get a new one of those. What do you reckon? Or shall I be mean? So there's two layers of it, but it doesn't cover all the way around, which is kind of interesting. So this bit goes around here, but this other bit, I don't know if that's another bit that was stuck on afterwards by somebody, but that only seems to go around part of the seat. So, and as you can see, it isn't exactly a super fit. So I'm not sure if that's an original piece, or someone's taken this seat apart before and added that bit, which would be the outside of the seat when you're sitting on it. This is right-hand drive car, so this would be the outside part. So maybe, you know, makes sense that you'd have a bit more bolstering on the outside of the seat, I guess. So maybe it is original. I will find out when I take the other seat apart, because if that's the same, that'll give us the answer, won't it? So this, you know, pretty impressive bit of what do you call it, padding that's been done here with a bit of insulation tape and a bit of spong. So yeah, this looks to be in pretty good condition. I'll just kick that over, but this one less so. So I'm going to fit a new one of these. Most of these rubbers actually look in pretty good condition. I was expecting to find a load of broken ones, but they're pretty good. So I shall take this off. I think there's a piece of wire down both sides of it which holds all of these into place. So if I just take the middle out and leave all the springs where they are in those holes, then I can see how it all goes back together again. So I'm going to do that next. Started raining again, so I've just moved into the garage. So I've cleaned up the rusty bits on the seat. Giving it a repaint at the bottom where you can see the thing. The rest of it I'm just going to live with. So now the job is to sort all of this out. So that's in pretty good condition, apart from the fact that it seems a little stretched at the top here. I'm not so sure what to do about that. But in the kit that you get of the new bits, you get a new one of those, so I might as well use it, I guess. This is the driver's seat, so we want to make sure it's comfy, right, because that's probably going to be the one that's going to be used most. So I'm going to start by putting the bottom piece on. So I bought a bag of new elastic because I wasn't sure how many would be broken. Turns out none of them were broken, but they're all quite stretched, as you can see, so you know, and some of the elastic's gone in them. So at the very least, for the driver's seat, I'm going to put some new rubbers into it. Again, just want to make sure that that's comfy, and then by the time I get to some of the other the other seats, maybe there's some broken bits in there that I'll need to replace. Okay, there you go. So that's the first bit done. It's comfy already. So I'll do the back. Should have enough to do the back. Right, we're going to get this seat done. So I just started cutting out a bit of foam for the seat. Might try and make a couple of improvements along the way because the seat comfort probably isn't that super duper. So here we go. So I've got a big sheet of foam. Oh, got a big sheet of foam from the local foam shop. This was, I don't know how big this is. It's big. It's a big sheet. But this was, let's put this down. This was 15 quid. So you can of course go and buy it from all the usual suspects, but 15 quid. Right, it's a bit of contact adhesive on both sides.
Categorization of big data is called the 3 V's: volume, variety, and velocity. The volume aspect of big data just has to do with the quantity we have recorded in many cases automatically for us electronically these days. Just a huge variety of data. So the quantity is just off the charts compared to where things were
back first.
years ago. Nowadays, big data really is terabytes or petabytes, massive quantities of data. So even the move from 5 to 500 terabytes itself almost comically small.
You can see that. These are what they call the asymmetric seats. Because this side is straight, this side has the curve. So this is the driver's seat. It's the right-hand seat, no matter what side of the road you drive on. It's the right-hand seat. So the other one is the opposite of this. The other type, or the later type, have a round back on both sides. And as far as I can tell, the only real difference is that there's a bar that goes across the top here that I haven't seen on others. So that means that when you're putting the seat cover on, you've got to do it inside out. So you can put the steel in at the top here, hold that in place, and then pull the cover over the top of it. So it's just a little bit more of a faff. I think the ones with curves on both sides, you just pull it straight down. So it's probably a lot quicker to manufacture, which is why the later ones were like that. Okay, so when we've done that, we just need to pull it around the edges. It's a little bit long on that side, so I'm just going to trim that back a bit.
Giant quantities of data for free without even thinking about it. You might call it data.
If you're going to do any of this sort of trim work, go and buy a big pair of scissors.
And how valuable is it?
A lot of the newer internet corporations.
I'm not sure how that bit's going to work out yet. Let's see how the folds go.
Are just built entirely on data.
Right, so I'm going to fold it around the sides.
Professor of Sociology and the Internet at Oxford University and the Alan Turing Institute.
So Facebook tells you who you might want to be your friend, or how many people have liked something
I'm going to need a bit more.
They use data in all sorts of ways to shape your behaviour.
Stuff.
Spend more time on their platform,
Just on the edges.
so that you see more advertisements and generally help their business model. So you're very valuable to that. You know that you get a lot of
Buy this stuff anywhere.
penalties for
Easy to
Facebook,
get.
which is famously free and
It's a bit messy.
it's not really free.
We're not going to see this again, hopefully. So it doesn't matter if it's a little bit messy. Just trying to spray around all over the place.
It isn't so much the data that's the important thing.
I think that's just going to sort of come to a peak, and then I might have to snip the edge off. We just need to let that glue set up for a minute. I left that on there for a reason, because that was attached there before, so that's, I'm not quite sure why. Might have to go back and look at my pictures and see. Should do us though. So, allowing judgment and evaluation to be based increasingly on information and analysis rather than intuition and insight. See, so that's just
data is important and big data is new. And when you think about it,
covering the corner nicely.
the way this planet is going to deal with its global challenges is because of the effective use of data.
Yeah, so that's going to sticky out a bit.
Shifting the boundaries of activity and changing the way things work. Let's take politics as an example. Helen and Heath, can you explain this shift to us?
In many ways,
Okay, so with that on, we're about ready to get the cover on. So I better go and dig that out. Back in the snow. Go to your favourite supplier. I don't know who that is. If you want recommendations for suppliers, I may not be the right person for that job. There have definitely been some that have been very good, and some that have not. So because this is the asymmetric one, I've got to, there's a bar that goes in across here, so I've got to pull it inside out to find this bit, which is where the bar goes. Now I've forgotten which way round it is. Let me get the bar. So that was the one that came out. Remember I marked these? Straighten it out a bit. I'll probably bend it when I put it in anyway. They're not sprung or anything, these. It's just a rod of steel. Okay. Label off.
It is the frontier whereby states think that the way they will preserve themselves in the future is precisely by controlling and managing this good.
So,
Knowledge is power, notes of
that's
that
way round.
Equivalent is data is power.
The data published by the Office
Rod.
of National Statistics shows that the number of people who have
the holes.
The number of cases now relatively high, not coming down fast, the coronavirus pandemic has highlighted
Falls on
just
my head.
how important big data is for understanding
Dead easy, just pop them in the holes.
We think
Works like the ones down the front.
much more than we do normally. We are hearing scientists and experts talking about data and modelling all the time.
they have confirmed that the R and lots of tools that you take between
So with that in, pull the cover down over the top.
one way, and experts have been
We're still on. Yeah, get some of these hog ring pliers. You're going to need those. And the edges.
So what's the future for data modelling in the fight against COVID-19?
I'll put some extra bits. Yeah, I'm going to put some extra bits down the sides just to give it a little bit more bulk. Hopefully give you a slightly better seat as a result. Yeah.
How are you doing anyway?
Something like that. I'm not happy with these edges. Some of this will pull down anyway when you pull on these bits that hold the side in. But just it's baggy here. to stuff it. So, we've got the back on, we can get the sides on.
Come away from the window.
Right, so there's a couple of bars that we've got to put in.
Yes. They're on. Yes.
Now, this has got to go
Amy.
round there.
It's gone up
Turn this
again.
upside down.
Next morning, these women start work at first light. It's lambing time.
So this has got to go, this bar here,
No time
this has
for
got to go
breakfast until they catch the moon.
round the bar. Well, I'll show you. It's got to go round the bar first and then into the
Life and
hole.
death balance on a knife edge in this field at lambing time.
So we'll end up with a baggy bit in the corner.
What's your name?
Try putting the front one in.
Sorry. Across there.
Probably not. I'll not put any like. Can I ask the person a question?
Try and get this.
Finally.
This one is inside here, so that's got to go in the hole, and I just need to try and get it so this bit stays tight.
Hamilton photograph, warm but touching.
now.